time is 12 o'clock and you're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV Abuja. Many thanks for joining us on today's program. The top stories. Peace returns to Kaduna communities after 12-year violence. Revenue loss to illegal miners exceeds country's budget, says ex-SGP presidential candidate. And on Stampede, Oyo files murder charges against Ooni's ex-queen. Detail coming up shortly. Welcome back and thank you once again for joining us on today's program. My name is Idris Amina. Now the details. Repentant bandits in Kaduna State have pledged to abide by a peace pact recently brokered by the state government, bringing hope to the violence-ravaged communities of Benin Kwari, Buruku and Sabon Birni. The bandits, who had terrorized the region for over a decade, expressed remorse for their actions and sought forgiveness from the government and affected communities. They also appealed for support to reintegrate into society and for access to education for their children. Speaking during a peace dialogue on Saturday, a Fulani elder representing notorious bandit leader Jan Bros urged all Fulani leaders nationwide to encourage their people to embrace peace. The Peace Pact includes the establishment of a Peace and Reconciliation Committee comprising government officials, Fulani and Hausa community leaders, and other stakeholders. The committee meets regularly to address potential conflicts and ensure adherence to the agreement. The coordinator of the peace process, Zubairu Abdurrauf, expressed optimism that the model could be replicated in other parts of the country. Meanwhile, the Oyo State government has filed 8 counts bordering on murder and manslaughter against the ex-queen of the Ooni of Ife, Naomi Shilekunola, the proprietor of an Ibadan-based radio station, Oriyomi Habzat, and the principal of Islamic High School, Bashorun, Ibadan, Abdullahi Fasasi, over the December 18, 2024 Funfair stampede, during which 35 children died. The charge sheet marked 105C-2025, cited by journalists on Sunday, was filed on Friday, January 10, 2025, before the Oyo State High Court in Ibadan. The Oyo State government was listed as a complainant, whilst Shilekunola, Hamzat and Babatunde were named as defendants. In the 18 counts, the government accused the defendant of conspiracy to commit a felony to wit murder, manslaughter, conspiracy to commit an offense to wit criminal negligence. The offenses are said to be contrary to and punish 324 of the Criminal Code, CAP 38, Volume 2, Laws of Oyo State 2000. In the charge sheets obtained by the media, the prosecution disclosed the names and details of 14 out of the 35 children who died during the accidents. And now the Social Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Prince Adewale Adebayo, has expressed concerns that the looting and amount lost to illegal mining are far higher than the country's entire budget. Adebayo raised the alarm while speaking to the media on Sunday. Nigeria has been experiencing booming illegal mining activities, especially in Bukuyum and Anka local government areas in present days and for states in the past 2 decades. In July 2024, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Solid Minerals, Jonathan Gbafi, announced that illegal mining is costing the country about $9 billion annually. The lawmaker further lamented that only 3% of royalty gets paid into government coffers by the few miners licensed to operate legally across the country. On Sunday, Adebayo also shared the same sentiment, stressing that the country is seriously bleeding and experiencing some form of leakages in the sector. And in another news, the Nigeria Governors Forum Health Sector Expenditure and Institutional Review reports show that 36 states allocated only 1.22% of their health budget to medical appliances and equipment in 2 years. The state-level report obtained on Sunday noted that 61.83% of the aggregate health budget of the 36 states from 2021 to 2023 was allocated to public health services and health administration, leaving 38.17% for hospital services. Outpatient services gets 10.5%, medical products, appliances and equipment 1.22%, and health research and development 0.28%. It also stated that the total health expenditure by the 36 states of the Federation was 505 billion naira in 2002 at 7% of their total spending, up to 484 billion naira in 2011. This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business TV. Announced the foreign news, California fire. President-elect Donald Trump blames leaders for poor response as 16 killed. Stay tuned for details. Maybe after the interview.
Okay. You have interview?
Yes, during the interview, I will do something about it. Welcome back and thank you for joining us. It's still news analysis coming to you on Politics and Business TV Abuja. Now on the foreign space, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump on Sunday sharpened his criticism of California's handling of the wildfires roaring around Los Angeles as the state's governor urged him to come witness the damage in person. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, long a target of Trump's criticism, pushed back in an interview which aired on Sunday, but also offered a hand. But in a pivot, the governor added that he called Trump for him to come out, take a look for himself, but he is yet to receive any response from Trump to his invitation so far. State and local officials in California have faced searing criticism as Trump and other Republicans, as well as those whose homes have burned or been threatened, have demanded answers about the state's planning and preparedness. The fire have so far killed at least 16 people, displaced 150,000 more, and destroyed more than 12,000 structures, according to state officials. And now for sport news, let's join Abel Sunday for updates.
Good afternoon and welcome to P&B Sport News. I'm Abel Sunday. The Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) is set to unveil Eric Chell as the new head coach of the Super Eagles on Monday at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja. Chell, a 47-year-old Franco-Malian tactician, was appointed on January 7, 2025 following a recommendation by the NFF Technical and Developmental Committee. Chel has an impressive track record, having led Mali to the quarterfinal of the 2023 African Cup of Nations. He will be tasked to revigorating the Super Eagles campaign in the ongoing 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. NFF President Ibrahim Gastou expressed optimism about Chel's appointment, describing him as a figure who embodies fresh energy, new thinking, and a positive attitude. During the unveiling on Monday, the NFF will also announce Chel's assistant. The coaching team will oversee the Super Eagles B squad at next month's African Nations Championship in East Africa before focusing on the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Now to the foreign scene. Manchester United knocked Arsenal out of the FA Cup with a trailing 5-3 penalty shootout win after the match ended 1-1. Kai Havertz penalty was saved by Alta Bayinda, and Joshua Zenzi struck the winning spot kick for Manchester United. That's all for sports today. I'm Abel Sunday.
Welcome back. Breaking news reaching us live in our studio that the principal Islamic school, Olori Naomi and Oriyomi Hamzat, granted bail. Details in our next bulletin. Moving on to today's forecast, which is on the latest inflation of 35% and its economic impact. Nigeria's inflation has been higher than the average for South African and sub-Saharan countries for years now, and even exceeded 16% in 2017, and a real significant decrease is nowhere in sight. The bigger problem is its unsteadiness, however. An inflation rate that is bouncing all over the place like this one is usually a sign of a struggling economy, causing prices to fluctuate and unemployment and poverty to increase. To simplify, when the inflation rate rises, so do prices, and consequently, banks raise their interest rates as well to cope and maintain their profit margin. Higher interest rates often cause unemployment to rise. In certain scenarios, rising prices can also mean more panicky spending and consumption among end users, causing debt and poverty. On the path to growth, Nigeria inflation surges to 27-year peak post-economic reform. Join us shortly as we bring in our today's guest for details. Stay with us. Welcome back. We have on via phone call today's guest, Mr. Wale Joshua, a chartered accountant and tax administrator, who will be taking us through the latest inflation and its economic impact. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Wale Joshua.
Good afternoon, and nice having you today.
Thank you for joining us on today's program.
You're welcome.
So, can you take us through the surge in inflation and how it can affect Nigeria's economy, Nigeria's already struggling economy?
Inflation in Nigeria is a product of deliberate acts, and is a product of what the economy is reacting to. There are some government policies that are meant to increase the amount of money in circulation, whether electronically or in physical cash. So inflation has to do with what the economy is responding to, part of which is the common knowledge of subsidy removal, currency flows, and the like. Then we are still yet to bring ourselves to the reality of what the situation of what Nigeria is in now. Then we have the gap between the rich and the poor. So the inflation is just reacting to the distortion we are having now. So possibly I can summarize the influence of inflation in Nigeria to political influence that we have in today's Nigeria. Political influence in the sense we are moving from one political leadership to the other, and their policies taking effect on Nigeria. So, like I used to say, politics and economic are Siamese twins. You cannot separate them. So the political policies and the political decisions are influencing economy in a way that it's only the poor that feels the effect. So whether we like it or not, the effect of the inflation in current day Nigeria is the reduction in purchasing power, which we notice in the fact that things are costly and things are very, very difficult to come by. So then, like I used to equally say, when inflation comes like this, workers will definitely demand for increase in wages. An increase in wages, because at the end of the day, the cost of the products in the market will catch up with the increased salaries and wages that we are purporting. So the economy has gotten a shock treatment from policies of the politicians of nowadays, which includes the effect of inflation. Quite unfortunate, central bank has tried in making sure that they tackle inflation by increasing the interest rate, by increasing the deposit ratio, by increasing the purchasing managers index. But this has not been able to tackle the inflation head on, because other things has to be done, which has to do with the Ministry of Finance. That's the fiscal policy, marrying the fiscal policy and Ministry of Finance will do. And marrying what Ministry of Finance will do with what CBN has done means that we have to drive the economy. We have to drive the citizens of this country into making sure that they do what will reduce inflation, which includes our taste for foreign imported goods, our taste for locally manufactured goods, and quality of products in the market. You don't expect me to hand-hardly and still buy what is substandard in the market. If I'm buying what is substandard in the market, you are returning me back to the market, which means that I'm buying twice, or I'm buying as much as I'm entering the market for that same product. So we still need the Ministry of Finance to drive the economy into a way that will tackle inflation. Projections has told us that inflation will reduce this year. Inflation will reduce this year.
Yes, I was
But,
coming to that. I was coming to that. It is on the report that inflation will reduce in this 2025. How feasible is that as an economist?
it is visible. It is visible in two ways. It is visible in the sense that most of the policies of the government, as in the investment policies, will take yield this year. The effect of Dangote refinery will take yield this year. The effect of exporting, relying much of the effect of import removal, the import effect of not importing petroleum products will take shape this year. I'm expecting that the foreign currency will improve this year. So it will take shape on inflation. But the major point is that it is in the policy of government to rebase to change the base year. So if you change the base year, that means the effect of the inflation will not be reported as reported in the last year when we have almost above 30% inflation rate.
Yes.
So if we can change the base, we can see a reduced inflation rate. Apart from changing the base, if we can improve productivity, I know that we can still get an improvement.